Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The procedure of calculating, determining something by mathematical or logical methods. The branch of engineering science that studies, with the aid of computers, computable processes and structures. The procedure of calculating, determining something by mathematical or logical methods. Planning something carefully and intentionally. Problem solving that involves numbers or quantities. The procedure of calculating, determining something by mathematical or logical methods. Problem solving that involves numbers or quantities. The branch of engineering science that studies, with the aid of computers, computable processes and structures. A process or series of acts, especially of a practical or mechanical nature, involved in a particular form of work. A set sequence of steps, part of larger computer program. A particular course of action intended to achieve a result. The procedure of obtaining a driver's license. A mode of conducting legal and parliamentary proceedings. A natural prolongation or projection from a part of an organism, either animal or plant. A bony process. A writ issued by authority of law, usually compels the defendant's attendance in a civil suit. Failure to appear results in a default judgment against the defendant. Shape, form, or improve a material. Process iron. Deliver a warrant or summons to someone. He was processed by the sheriff. A sustained phenomenon, or one marked by gradual changes through a series of states. Events now in process. Institute legal proceedings against. File a suit against. He was warned that the district attorney would process him. March in a procession. They processed into the dining room. A particular course of action intended to achieve a result. It was a process of trial and error. Psychology, the performance of some composite cognitive activity, an operation that affects mental contents. The process of thinking. A mental process that you are not directly aware of. The process of denial. Subject to a process or treatment, with the aim of readying for some purpose, improving, or remedying a condition. Process cheese. Deal with in a routine way. Process alone. Perform mathematical and logical operations on data, according to programmed instructions in order to obtain the required information. The results of the elections were still being processed when he gave his acceptance speech. The discipline dealing with the art or science of applying scientific knowledge to practical problems. The discipline dealing with the art or science of applying scientific knowledge to practical problems. Machinery and equipment developed from engineering or other applied sciences. The application of the knowledge and usage of tools, such as machines or utensils, and techniques to control one's environment. The mastery of fire was a huge advance in human technology. The discipline dealing with the art or science of applying scientific knowledge to practical problems. The discipline dealing with the art or science of applying scientific knowledge to practical problems. He had trouble deciding which branch of engineering to study. A room, as on a ship, in which the engine is located. The practical application of technical and scientific knowledge to commerce or industry. Mathematics, calculation by mathematical methods. The problems at the end of the chapter demonstrated the mathematical processes involved in the derivation. The act of calculating again, usually to eliminate errors or to include additional data. Recalculation yielded a much larger value. Activity by a military or naval force, as a maneuver or campaign. It was a joint operation of the Navy and Air Force. A process or series of acts, especially of a practical or mechanical nature, involved in a particular form of work. The operations in building a house. Mathematics, calculation by mathematical methods. They were learning the basic operations of arithmetic. A medical procedure involving an incision with instruments, performed to repair damage or arrest disease in a living body. They will schedule the operation as soon as an operating room is available. Process or manner of functioning or operating. The power of its engine determines its operation. Psychology, the performance of some composite cognitive activity, an operation that affects mental contents. The cognitive operation of remembering. A business, especially one run on a large scale. A large-scale farming operation. A planned activity involving many people performing various actions. They organized a rescue operation. Computer science, data processing in which the result is completely specified by a rule, especially the processing that results from a single instruction. It can perform millions of operations per second. The activity of operating something, a machine or business, etc. Her smooth operation of the vehicle gave us a surprisingly comfortable ride. The state of being in effect or being operative. That rule is no longer in operation. Performing complex and lengthy numerical calculations. Mathematics, calculation by mathematical methods. Any abnormal position of the organs of the body. An event in which one thing is substituted for another. The act of reversing the order or place of. Electricity. A rearrangement of the relative positions of power lines in order to minimize the effects of mutual capacitance and inductance. He wrote a textbook on the electrical effects of transposition. Genetics. A kind of mutation in which a chromosomal segment is transferred to a new position on the same or another chromosome. Mathematics. The transfer of a quantity from one side of an equation to the other along with a change of sign. Music. Playing in a different key from the key intended. Moving the pitch of a piece of music upwards or downwards. An agency of the United States Army responsible for providing timely and relevant and accurate and synchronized intelligence to tactical and operational and strategic level commanders. The branch of computer science that deal with writing computer programs that can solve problems creatively. The introduction of semen into the oviduct or uterus by some means other than sexual intercourse. A sloth that has 3 long claws on each forefoot and each hindfoot. The goal intended to be attained, and which is believed to be attainable. The sole object of her trip was to see her children. A tangible and visible entity. An entity that can cast a shadow. It was full of rackets, balls and other objects. Be averse to or express disapproval of. My wife objects to modern furniture. Computing. A discrete item that provides a description of virtually anything known to a computer. In object-oriented programming, objects include data and define its status, its methods of operation and how it interacts with other objects. Express or raise an objection or protest or criticism or express dissent. She never objected to the amount of work her boss charged her with. Grammar. A constituent that is acted upon. The object of the verb. The focus of cognitions or feelings. Objects of thought. The branch of computer science that deal with writing computer programs that can solve problems creatively. The sciences concerned with gathering, manipulating, storing, retrieving, and classifying recorded information. The sciences concerned with gathering, manipulating, storing, retrieving, and classifying recorded information. The sciences concerned with gathering, manipulating, storing, retrieving, and classifying recorded information. The sciences concerned with gathering, manipulating, storing, retrieving, and classifying recorded information. A machine for performing calculations automatically. 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 An expert at calculation, or at operating calculating machines. A machine for performing calculations automatically. A machine for performing calculations automatically. Computer science. The assignment of particular areas of a magnetic disk to particular data or instructions. A share set aside for a specific purpose. The act of distributing by allotting or apportioning. Distribution according to a plan. Computer science. A code for information exchange between computers made by different companies. A string of 7 binary digits represents each character, used in most microcomputers.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.